There's a secret philosophy from Japan that has quietly transformed countless lives, not by promising instant success or quick fixes, but by teaching people how to turn failure itself into the fuel for unstoppable progress. Imagine a system so powerful that it doesn't just help you bounce back from setbacks, but actually uses those setbacks as the very foundation of your growth. This isn't about motivation that fades after a day or two. It's about a mindset so deeply ingrained that failure becomes not a dead end, but a stepping stone. If you've ever felt crushed by your own mistakes, overwhelmed by the weight of disappointment, or stuck in a cycle of starting and quitting, this philosophy is for you. Because here's the truth: failure isn't the enemy, it's the raw material of mastery. The problem isn't that you fail, it's that most people don't know how to fail well. They see failure as proof they're not good enough, so they give up. But what if you could flip that script? What if failure was the signal that you're on the right path, that you're pushing your limits, and that every stumble is actually progress in disguise? This philosophy comes from two Japanese concepts that work together like yin and yang: Shitsuke and Gaman. Shitsuke is the art of discipline, but not the kind that demands perfection or harsh self-punishment. It's about creating tiny, almost invisible habits so simple that failure becomes impossible. Gaman, on the other hand, is the inner strength to endure discomfort, to keep going when every part of you screams to stop. Alone, each is powerful. Together, they form a system that transforms chronic inconsistency into unbreakable constancy. Let me tell you a story about a man named Kenji. Kenji was like many of us, full of dreams, but trapped by his own inability to follow through. He wanted to start a business, get fit, and build a life he could be proud of. But every time he tried, he failed. He'd start with enthusiasm, only to burn out within weeks. He felt like a failure, and that feeling crushed his confidence. But then Kenji discovered Shitsuke and Gaman, and everything changed. Kenji's first step was to start so small that it felt almost ridiculous. Instead of trying to overhaul his entire life overnight, he committed to one tiny action every day, writing just one sentence towards his business plan. One sentence. That was it. It was so small that it seemed pointless, but that was the point. The goal wasn't to create a perfect plan on day one. It was to build the habit of showing up. And every day he wrote that sentence, he was voting for the identity of someone who finishes what they start. At first, the discomfort was real. His mind whispered, "This is silly. You're wasting time." But Kenji remembered Gaman. Discomfort is not an emergency. He sat down, wrote his sentence, and felt a small spark of accomplishment. Day after day, that spark grew. After a month, he had 30 sentences. Not a business plan, but a foundation. More importantly, he had built trust with himself. Contrast this with the old Kenji, who would have tried to write the entire plan in one sitting, gotten overwhelmed, and quit. The difference wasn't talent or motivation, it was the system. Shitsuke made the task so small it was impossible to fail. Gaman gave him the grit to push through the mental resistance. But the real magic happened when Kenji faced his first real failure. He pitched his idea to a potential client and was rejected outright. Most people would have seen this as a sign to quit. Kenji, he saw it as data. He reminded himself that failure was fuel, not a stop sign. He doubled down on his tiny daily actions, sending just one email a day to new prospects. No grand gestures, no overwhelming to-do lists, just one email. Weeks passed with silence, no replies. The old Kenji would have given up, but this time he had built a system that didn't rely on motivation or immediate results. He had built a habit and an identity. He kept sending that email every day, rain or shine, tired or energized. And then, one day, a reply came. A small yes. A tiny victory that proved the system worked. This story isn't unique. It's a pattern. The Japanese philosophy of Shitsuke and Gaman teaches us that success isn't about avoiding failure. It's about embracing it, learning from it, and using it as the fuel to keep moving forward. It's about starting so small that you can't fail, and then enduring the discomfort of persistence until your actions become automatic. Now, you might be thinking, that sounds nice, but I don't have time for tiny actions. I want results now. Here's the contrast. Most Most people chase big, explosive motivation and crash hard. They start with a bang only to burn out and quit. The philosophy we're talking about flips that on its head. It's not about speed, it's about sustainability. It's not about intensity, it's about consistency. And that consistency, built one tiny step at a time, compounds into unstoppable momentum. Imagine your life a year from now if you started today with just one small action, one email, one sentence, one push-up, 1 minute of focus. It might seem insignificant now, but in 365 days, those tiny actions add up to a completely different you. Someone who doesn't quit, who doesn't get derailed by failure, who uses every setback as a stepping stone. This philosophy also teaches a crucial lesson about environment and design. Kenji didn't just rely on willpower, he designed his environment to make the right action easier than the wrong one. He left his laptop open on the kitchen table with his contacts folder ready. He put his running shoes by the door. He eliminated distractions and decisions that drained his mental energy, because every decision you make consumes willpower, and willpower is limited. By automating the small actions and removing friction, Kenji freed his brain to focus on what mattered. This is Shitsuke in action, creating systems so simple and automatic that failure becomes nearly impossible. And when the system inevitably falters, Gaman kicks in, the inner strength to endure discomfort and keep going anyway. But here's the catch. This system demands patience and humility. You have to start so small that it feels almost embarrassing. You have to be willing to look ridiculous, to do the work when no one is watching, to keep going when every cell in your body screams to quit. This is the price of transformation. It's not glamorous, it's not flashy, but it's real. And the payoff? A life where failure no longer controls you, where setbacks are just data points on your path, where consistency builds confidence, and confidence builds trust. Trust in yourself that you will do what you say you will do. This trust is the foundation of true discipline and lasting success. So what's your one sentence today? What's the smallest action you can commit to that will start building your new identity? Remember, greatness doesn't come from grand gestures. It comes from tiny actions repeated until they become who you are. If you're ready to turn failure into fuel, to build a system that supports you even on your worst days, then start now. Start so small it seems ridiculous. Start with Shitsuke and Gaman, because the secret Japanese philosophy that turns failure into fuel isn't a secret anymore. It's a path you can walk every day. Now, let's dive deeper into how you can apply this philosophy in your own life, no matter where you are right now. The first step is to embrace the idea that failure is not a sign of weakness, but a necessary part of growth. This mindset shift alone can change everything. When you stop fearing failure, you stop avoiding action. You start experimenting, learning, and improving. Next, break down your goals into the smallest possible actions. If you want to write a book, don't start by aiming to write 1,000 words a day. Start with one sentence. If you want to get fit, don't plan an hour-long workout. Start with one push-up or a 5-minute walk. The key is to make the action so small that it feels almost effortless. This is Shitsuke, building a system that makes success inevitable. But small actions alone aren't enough. You need Gaman, the grit to keep going when it's uncomfortable. There will be days when you don't feel like doing your one sentence, your one push-up, or your one email. That's when you remind yourself, discomfort is not an emergency. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to keep showing up. Even if you do less than usual, keep the flame alive. Another powerful tool is designing your environment to support your new habits. Remove distractions and make the right choice the easiest choice. Want to read more? Leave your book on your pillow. Want to eat healthier? Keep junk food out of the house. Want to be more productive? Clear your workspace and have your tools ready. This reduces the mental energy spent on decisions and preserves your willpower for the actions that matter. matter. Remember, the goal isn't to be perfect, it's to be consistent. Consistency builds momentum, and momentum builds identity. After weeks and months of showing up, your actions become automatic. You don't have to convince yourself anymore, you just do it because that's who you are now. And here's the most important part. Your identity is shaped by your actions, not your intentions. Saying, "I want to be disciplined," means nothing if your actions don't match. But sending that one email every day, running that 400 meters, writing that one sentence, these are votes for the person you want to become. Over time, those votes add up and your identity shifts. This is why the Japanese philosophy of Shitsuke and Gaman is so powerful. It's not about motivation or willpower, which are fleeting. It's about building a system and an inner strength that carry you through failure, discomfort, and setbacks. It's about turning failure into fuel, using every no and every stumble as a reason to push harder, not quit. So if you're ready to change your life, start today. Pick one tiny action. Make it so small that it's impossible to fail. Design your environment to support it. And when the discomfort comes, and it will, remember Gaman. Endure, persist, keep going. Because the truth is, success isn't about never failing, it's about never quitting. It's about building a life where failure is just another step on the path, not the end of the road. You don't need to be special, you don't need to be perfect, you just need to be consistent. One tiny action at a time, one day at a time, until you become the person you've always wanted to be. And when you do, you'll look back and realize that the failures you once feared were the very things that made your success possible. That's the secret Japanese philosophy that turns failure into fuel, and it's waiting for you to start.